Good evening. I'm opening the meeting of the Bristol Township Planning Commission. I would like to welcome our viewing audience and those in attendance. I'm going to ask you to kindly stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And I'm going to ask you to remain standing. To keep in mind our troops that are in harm's way, our prisoners of war, our killed in action, our missing in action, for all those who are suffering from the effects of the war in Ukraine, for all the children who have been separated from their parents, and any personal intentions you might have. Thank you very much. Commissioners, before we get into our agenda, we do have the item of consideration of the April 20th, 2022 Planning Commission meeting minutes. You have a copy of those minutes. You've had an opportunity to review them. I would entertain a motion.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
I have a motion and a second for approval. Any comments or questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous. Thank you, Commissioners. We have two items on our agenda this evening. The first one is subdivision for Joseph Tacey, 1809 Pennsylvania Avenue, Croydon, PA, requesting preliminary and final subdivision approval in order to construct two single-family dwellings on the property located at 715 Wyoming Avenue, Croydon, PA, tax parcel number 5-12-202 in an R-3 residential zone district of Bristol Township. Do we have a representative?
Yes, we do. My name is John Genovese. Project
Do we have a?
Hey, could you have your microphone on?
There is no microphone.
Oh, well, that's interesting. That was a test, and it worked.
Okay. I'll start over.
See, our commissioners pay attention.
My name's John Genovese. I work for Tri-State Engineers and Land Surveyors in Feasterville. We represent the builder, Chris Levins. He's with me tonight. I'm pitch hitting for the project engineer, who is Larry Young. So I'll do the best I can to explain what we propose, and if you have any questions, or just stop me where I am. The proposal is to demolish an existing dwelling.
So, John, if I could excuse myself for a second here, would you, by any chance, have a pointer with you?
Yes, I do.
Would you kind of use it so you could show the people on the map what you're going to do?
Okay.
So our viewing audience could see what's going on.
So this is the lot here, and this drawing shows two dwellings that would replace the existing. The existing dwelling is closer to the road, beyond the building setback lines. If we have an existing features plan, which is sheet 2, this is the existing features plan, and it's hard to see, but the dwelling is right here. And there's a small sidewalk that comes out to the street. There you go. And then there's the existing stone driveway on the left side of the house. Building setback line is this dotted line here, and so the dwelling is a legal non-conforming dwelling, but it's beyond that setback line towards the right-of-way. And if you go back, can you go back to the previous drawing? Okay, so this is the lot again here, and the existing dwelling is been removed on the drawing, and you have two single-family dwellings proposed Each would be on a 5,200 square foot lot. There's a driveway that's initially 9 feet wide. It expands to 18 feet wide, and there would be a garage to the left, and the lot number 2, which is on the right, is a mirror image of lot 1. There is public sewer out in front of the lot, and then there is public water also. So that each dwelling would be serviced by public water and public sewer. We will talk briefly about storm sewer. There's an item in your engineer's letter about the on-lot systems. We're proposing underground infiltration beds to comply with your stormwater ordinance. We think they function adequately. Your township engineer would like us to make some adjustments, which we will do. There's an item regarding maybe tying into the existing storm sewer, but there's no storm sewer in front of the lots. It's down the street towards Pennsylvania Avenue, and there's not much cover on the pipe. The pipe is very shallow. But we can discuss that item when we come to it. There are waivers that we're asking for. Those are listed on the second page of your engineer's letter. I don't know if Kurt wants to review them.
So John, what I'll ask you to do is, you do have a copy of the April, I'm guessing the one that says waiver requested. There's a separate sheet actually submitted to us that says dated April 11th, 2022. And this is the letter of waivers requested, and if you want to go down that particular letter.
I don't have a copy of that letter. What I have is the Gilmore May 11th letter.
Okay.
For the chair, you can use my copy if you'd like.
Thank you, Kathy.
You're welcome. So you just go to one.
This is newer by a month.
Oh, is it? And which one is this? Is this Gilmore's?
Gilmore's.
Okay.
Might be better.
Okay, so we'll read the letter, the waiver request letter.
Actually, I'm going to just touch on this a second. The one
Okay.
that we just gave him, that is dated April 11th. There's a newer one here that says May 11th.
Yeah, there's a different amount of waivers on
Okay.
the Gilmore one. There's 6.
All right, so, John, what we're going to do is we're going to, and I appreciate the previous letter of request submitted for waivers,
That was nice.
but we do have a more current Gilmore and Associates letter dated May 11th, and I believe you have that.
I have Gilmore's letter dated May 11th.
And that has on page 2, that does have the waiver request.
Yeah, there are 6 of them.
Yeah, so you can go you can use that letter and use those requests.
Okay. So the first request is that a waiver be granted from providing sidewalk.
Okay, John, what I'm going to ask you to do is to read the numbers of the waivers that you're requesting for our records, please.
Okay, and do you want me to read the rest of the paragraph, or?
No, you can
I can
just
summarize
basically,
that?
you can touch on what that paragraph means.
Okay, I'll do that. The first waiver then is from paragraph 177-35A, and paragraph 177-43A, and also 177-66A. And all 3 paragraphs have to do with sidewalk along abutting streets. And so we are asking for a waiver not to install sidewalks. There aren't any sidewalks on Wyoming nor on the abutting streets.
Okay.
The second waiver is from paragraph 177-35A, 177-45A, and paragraph 177-67A. And that has to do with curb along all abutting streets. And we are asking for a waiver not to install curb. And again, there's not any curb along Wyoming. The third waiver is from paragraph 177-48D, parenthesis 3. And that has to do with grading within 5 feet of a property line. We would request a waiver from that requirement. The fourth waiver is from paragraph 177-51A, 1C, and that's a waiver requested from installing street trees. It's a pretty tight development with the driveways and the utilities, so that we're requesting a waiver from that paragraph of the ordinance. Number 5 is from paragraph 177-93A1, and that's a request from a waiver to provide a plan scale other than 1 inch equals 50 or 1 inch equals 100 feet. Our plan is at a scale of 1 inch equals 20 feet. And number 6, it's the waiver is a request from paragraph 177-93C3, and that's a waiver from showing the location, names, with streets, railroads, sanitary sewers, storm drains, water mains, culverts, and other significant man-made features on or within 200 feet of the tract.
Thank you, John.
You're welcome.
Do you have anything else?
We
don't need to go through the Gilmore letter.
Well, there's just 2 things that I might talk about,
Absolutely.
if that's all right.
Absolutely.
Other than those 2 things, we would comply. Everything's to comply with Gilmore's review letter.
Okay.
The first item is the zoning ordinance item under the review comments, just below the waivers. We would indicate that we would widen the driveway all the way to the cartway. Right now it tapers down to 9 feet.
Right.
That's okay. We would widen the driveway all the way. And then the other item, as I mentioned, has to do with tying into the existing storm sewer. At the bottom of page 3, item 3D, it suggests that due to the bed discharge and grading issues that we might want to tie into the existing storm sewer. I did a quick investigation before I came to the meeting. There is an inlet about 75 feet south, or I guess it's north, on Wyoming towards Pennsylvania. There's only 8 inches of cover on that 12-inch storm sewer. So by the time we get there, we would probably be out of the ground at our site. I have to confirm that with a survey, but it might be just as effective to let the water come out of the pop-ups, run down along the edge of Cartway into the existing inlet that's even further down on the same side of Wyoming.
Okay, thank you, John. Commissioners, you've heard the presentation and the review request. Do you have any questions? Kurt, do you have any questions?
I have no questions or comments.
Bob?
No questions, John.
Any questions from the audience? Okay. And Kurt, that issue that he was just explaining on the number D on the bottom of page 3, you're familiar with what he's trying to do?
Yeah, we can work with them. We just made the recommendation to investigate looking into tying it in. If it's not feasible, we'll work with them to come up with an alternative solution, but I don't think or foresee that it's anything insurmountable that we can't resolve.
Thank you. Okay, hearing no questions, nothing from the audience, commissioners, I would entertain a motion.
I'll make that motion.
Go ahead.
To recommend to council the subdivision of Joseph
Tacey.
Tacey, I'm sorry. 1809 Pennsylvania Ave, Croydon, PA, requesting preliminary and final subdivision approval in order to construct 2 single-family dwellings on the property located at 715 Wyoming Ave, Croydon, PA, tax parcel number 5-12-202, in an R3 residential zone district of Bristol Township, along with the waivers that are requested, the 6 waivers requested in the Gilmore and Associates letter dated May 11th of 2022, and everything else in the letter is a will comply.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I will second.
It's been moved and second. Any comments or questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Unanimous. Good luck, sir. You're welcome.
Good pinch hitter.
Yeah. The next item on our agenda is land development. Ralph DiGiuseppe, 518 Lafayette Street, Bristol, PA, requesting preliminary and final subdivision and land development approval in order to subdivide the property into 8 lots and construct 6 single-family dwellings located at 3017 Bath Road, Bristol, PA, tax parcel number 5-24-99 in an R-1 residential zone district of Bristol Township. We have a representative? Good evening, sir.
My name's Rick Stoneback, and I'm the project engineer for Mr. DiGiuseppe, who has a property under agreement from Vince Conca. It's, okay, here we go. This is the property. It's 2.2 acres. This is Bath Road. This is Century, and this is Green. This is a Bath firehouse. And the property, as I said, is 2.2 acres. It's roughly 300 feet by 300 feet. Think of that as the length of a football field, 300 feet. So the proposal is to subdivide it. If we can go to the next sheet. This is the subdivision plan. It has an existing house where Mr. Conca lives. This is Mr. Conca's garage. Then you'll see lots 1 through 6, which are building lots to be used for home construction by DiGiuseppe. 75-foot lot width, 10,000 square foot R1 zoning. Flip to the next plan. Shows the improvements. There we go. Okay. This shows the homes. One of the issues with this project was driveway access to Bath.
Okay, Rick, is your microphone on? The green light?
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay, then I guess I need to focus on speaking into it.
that would help. Thank you.
One of the issues we had was Bath Road access. we've been speaking with PennDOT. We've gotten approval from them verbally for a shared driveway for lots 1 and 2. Lot 3 will have on the plan that we originally submitted, showed a shared driveway, but based upon further review and the comment included in the Gilmore letter that quotes a SAUDA ordinance that you should access the roadway with the least traffic, we're going to turn this house with access to Century, so this will be a single. So we'll have 2 driveways out to Bath. Then we'll have 3 driveways out to Century, and the 2.
What's the picture, Bob?
21 minutes. That was a record. 21 minutes, that's our limit.
Okay, the 2 on Green, which is really existing for Mr. Conca for his garage and his house. The plan shows the construction of a second home on the garage lot in the future. Utilities are all pretty much right there. We're proposing a sanitary sewer line that will connect to the existing sanitary sewer in Century. So all the units will tie into that line. That's Bristol Township sewer system. Water exists in the streets today. That's Aqua. And similar to the prior project that you heard, we are going to have on-lot seepage beds, and we've designed them for each of the lots. And because we're over an acre of disturbance, we have to get an NPDS permit, and that's pretty stringent requirements of DEP and Bucks County Conservation District. So in addition to the comments that were made by Gilmore, we'll also have to take that to a little higher level.
Okay, let me ask you a question, Rick. The way you explained the first 4 properties, number 1 and 2, are having a
Have a shared driveway.
shared drive in the front.
Lot
And
3,
if-
and
and-
the plans originally submitted showed a shared driveway
Correct.
similar. However, subsequent to that, based upon Kurt's letter and also some further thinking about it with PennDOT, Lot 3 will have a single access driveway. They won't have a shared driveway. Lot 4 will have a driveway that goes out to Century.
So, yeah, we have an ordinance that requires access to go to collector streets, but you're also seeking a waiver from,
I'm having to do that with property 3 and 4, so they would have a shared
I mean,
driveway.
our position has been if PennDOT issues HOPs to their roads,
Right.
then we sort of let them have jurisdiction, it's their jurisdiction. So my opinion tonight would be, we'd be amenable to either option, so long as it's a condition of approval that PennDOT agree to whatever's preferred. We're okay with it coming out to Century. We're also okay with deferring to PennDOT if they want to keep the shared driveway going out to Bath.
Okay. And would you?
And we have the, relative to review comments, we have the letter from Gilmore, May 3. We take no exception to the comments in there with one distinction. When we went to try to address all these comments, one of the items that we were working with had to do with street trees that are required. And if we can go back, well, maybe we don't have to, but on this plan, you can see we're showing additional street trees. However, because every lot has a water service, a driveway, and a sanitary sewer, the sanitary and the water have to be separated. So we're finding it's difficult to get some of the trees located. So I think, and we have existing trees on part of Green that we didn't need to plant. So we computed that we needed 18 trees, taking credit for the existing trees, and we can only fit 10 on. So because of that, there's 9 waivers listed on our originally submitted plan. There's 9 waivers mentioned, the same ones mentioned in the Gilmore letter on starting on page 2. we needed to add a 10th waiver to that list of 9 relative to those street trees.
Okay, thank you. So I'm going to ask you to go down.
A
I'm so-
revised list yesterday.
I'm sorry, I was going to ask you to go down that waiver list,
Absolutely.
please.
The first one has to do with plan scale. This is something I know you hear very often. We drew
Rick,
the plan at
again,
a
I'm going to ask you if you'll read the numbers
Okay.
of each one of those.
Requested waiver number 1, plan scale.
I apologize. I meant the numbers where it
Oh,
says
the section of the
177.
ordinance. Okay.
Correct.
It's,
Thank you.
177, 92, 91 dot capital A 1 regarding plan scale. Quite frankly, our plan scale is at a larger scale than what's required. It makes it actually clearer, but that's a waiver from the letter of the code.
Okay.
The second one has to do with, it's 177, 91C3, has to do with the location and widths of streams, et cetera. Location of items within 200 feet of the tract. It's something that, again, I think you probably see pretty often. We've provided an aerial photo that we think supplements our plans to provide all of that information. Number 3, 177-35B, looked like an 8. Let me get my glasses. This has to do with street right-of-ways and future right-of-ways and cartway widths, and primarily we're requesting a waiver from the width of the right-of-ways and the cartways along the abutting property. Number 4, 177-40.H. Lots abutting, this requires that lots that above a arterial street shall be double frontage without driveway access to the arterial street. Bath Road is arterial, and we're requesting a waiver so that we can get our driveway accesses out, subject to PennDOT approval. Number 5, 177-43A relates to sidewalks on abutting streets. 177-45A is curb on abutting streets. That this whole area, there is no areas or no streets within that neighborhood that has curb or sidewalk. Number 7 is 177-14, which is procedural review of the subdivision as preliminary final in lieu of separate preliminary and separate final. Number 8 requires private driveways to be located to provide a minimum distance of 5 feet from the paved edge of any driveway to a property line. This is the situation where we're sharing the driveway, means that we have the driveway on the property line, and it's going to be subject to an easement and shared maintenance. And that's only occurring now in lots 1 and 2. 177-47F is number 9. Generally, the side lot lines should be perpendicular to the street. If you look, the concha line is skewed to match the driveway that exists there today. And number 10 is the one that we added regarding street trees, 177-51 capital A, 1 little a, and that's due to locations of utilities and services. We're requesting a partial waiver to only install 10 street trees in lieu of the required 18.
Thank you. Do you have anything else?
No, just that
Okay,
everything
thank you.
else in the Gilmore letter is will comply.
Okay. Everything else is a will comply. Thank you. Commissioners, you've heard the presentation and the requested waivers. You have any questions?
I have a question.
Yes.
Along with, aside from the Gilmore and Associates letter, In terms of the Pannoni letter dated on May 6th, is everything there a will comply with the PennDOT occupancy permit?
Haven't seen it.
The Pannoni letter?
I don't believe so. Could I?
Yes. Just the review comments that PennDOT requires the HOP.
That's a will comply.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much.
Any other questions from the commission? Kurt?
I have no questions or comments.
Thank you. Bob?
No questions, John.
Any questions from the audience? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make that motion. To recommend to council the land development for Ralph Di Giuseppe, 518 Lafayette Street, Bristol, PA, requesting preliminary and final subdivision and land development approval in order to subdivide the property into 8 lots and construct 6 single-family dwellings located at 3017 Bath Road, Bristol, PA, tax parcel number 5-24-99, in an R1 residential zoned district of Bristol Township, to also grant the waivers requested in the Gilmore and Associates letter dated May 3rd, as well as the 10th one that was added on May 16th. Also that everything else is a will comply, in addition to the Pannoni letter, that everything else is a will comply.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
A second.
It's been moved in second. Any comments or questions? I only have one, Kurt. The fact that initially we understood about the shared drives on both of those properties, and obviously now there's an option for either one. They have to notify the township which option they're going to take.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. The normal process after a conditional final approval is that we'll get a revised plan that addresses the review comments in our letter. So there will be another full review of the revised plan before it goes to recording.
Thank you, Kurt. No other questions or comments? I've had a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous. Good luck, gentlemen. Ralph, how you doing, buddy? Having nothing else on our agenda, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
It's been moved in second. Any comments or questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Meeting is